to get kind of a handle on my health, because I don't like letting you guys down in any way, and particularly when it comes to lives. So we're on here today, as it says on the, if you checked out the title, it's the NYX Ultimate Mattes, the kind of non-shimmery colors that still kind of brighten up the eye. Now we're coming into autumn, just to kind of get a little bit more of the autumn feel in makeup. So I haven't been very well. I don't really feel 100%, but I did come on because I know I said I would, and I want to keep up the channel, and the longer form content as well. I want to keep all that up. But yeah, I'm definitely, you might be able to hear it. I'm not feeling 100% really at all. But do let me know when you're on. I've got the TikTok light on, but where it's at, I can see the likes, but not who's on. So I'll just start off with the skincare while you guys are on. But again, apologies for yesterday. But I'm definitely going to keep up the lives, but they may not be the specific day, but I'll always tell you kind of that day if I am in the post section. So let's pop on, I've cleansed the face. This is the Soleil Sensitive Face Lotion, and it's SPF 30 from Superdrug. I will say, guys, I did, and I know I said I'm on a no buy, but I did swap the Collections Eye Curling Mascara, because it really did do nothing in the last tutorial. You would have seen it didn't do a lot, and I switched it for the Rimmel, and it's the Scandaleyes Wow Wings. So we're going to try that today, because this, guys, it just did nothing. And I even thought on the photos after the live it would do something, but it didn't really do anything. So it's a really nice kind of brush. It's a nice color, but it really didn't make a difference, did it, guys? If you were on the last live, thank you for the love hearts. So we're going to go with Rimmel Scandaleyes today, which was about $5.99, and this was $4.99. So we're going to go with this today. So let's pop on the, so if I don't kind of sound well or anything like that, I apologize. But we're going to pop on our SPF, which I would always recommend minimum 30. This is the Soleil Sensitive Face Lotion, and it has UVA, UVB, and it's water resistant too. So we're just going to pop that on. And I know I don't look amazing. I apologize, guys. I'm really not feeling well, and I'm sorry if it's kind of showing. So I usually just pop that in the areas you pop maybe a serum. And just wipe that around this. This is 30, SPF 30. Do let me know when you're on, guys. It's a nice smell too. So Superdrug, Soleil is their own brand, basically. So I know I can see myself and I'm like, I look awful. So I apologize for that, guys. I'm just not feeling 100% at all. Okay. So it does go into the skin really, really quick. So you can see it kind of gives a shine, but there's no fragrance at all. So, I mean, this could be for men and women, to be honest, guys. This is what it looks like. It's just Soleil SPF 30 sensitive face lotion, and it's waterproof. Hi Cut Master, what is that? What do you mean? And I'll try and answer the question. So yeah, it soaks in really quick. It really soaks in quickly. So what we're going to do is then put on our primer. So if anybody's coming into this live, this is actually a makeup tutorial, just so you know. Okay. So what we're going to do is put on the Rimmel Fix and Perfect, and this is the 5-in-1, smooths, resurfaces, brightens, mattifies, and protects. Feels sus. What feels sus? So we're going to pop that on, and again, I think it's just been since the hospital and since neurology, I just have not been feeling very well. So it's just trying to kind of get through the days until I get my appointment. Okay. So we're just going to pop that. So that's just a primer, and that's going to keep your foundation on. So we're just going to put that all around the face. I'm not going to go for a heavy look, guys. So, okay. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Kira. Outside of YouTube, I am a support worker for people with autism and Down syndrome. And then on YouTube, I've been doing makeup tutorials for a long time. February, subscribers started to request lives and kind of interacting, and that's what I've been doing since February. But outside of this, I am a support worker for young adults with autism and Down syndrome. So that's what I do. And I'm from Ireland, but I live in the UK at the minute. Okay, so that's kind of the primer on. Dick Smith, you are beautiful. Thank you. Liked and subbed. Thank you. So that's kind of the primer and the cream SPF put on. And I think no matter what the season is, definitely always pop on your SPF. So cute, Kazar, thank you. So what I'm going to do is pop on something really light. It's just a tinted hydrator. Now there isn't any SPF in it, but the tinted hydrator, it says it in itself. It's a hydrating kind of skin tint basically. It's not very heavy. Mine is in Fairlight, and we're going to pop that on. And this is what it looks like. It says Fairlight, but if you look at it, guys, it is kind of a deeper, it does look a bit deeper. So but thank you guys for subbing. I do some mental health videos as well. You would have seen if you look down the videos. Just gonna pop this around. It does feel more like a lotion, but it is a tinted moisturizer, guys, or they call it a tinted hydrator, but it isn't. It's just like a tinted moisturizer. Okay, and I'm just going to get my beauty blender. Kazar, what's your name? My name is Kira, and I'm literally just going to kind of press that into the skin. So I am sorry that I haven't been on, guys. Neurology weren't really able to explain what was going on when I explained to the consultant what was happening. So if you don't know the backstory, I've just been quite ill recently, and they were trying to kind of figure out. So I'm going to be sent for an MRI. I'm kind of getting dizzy and falling and stuff like that, just kind of randomly. I don't feel any, at the time, I don't feel ill. And then all of a sudden, I'll just kind of just fall. And so they couldn't really give me an answer. So they said, we'll send you for an MRI, which is like a scan, a brain scan, and then go from there. So I have to wait for that appointment. But in the meantime, the symptoms are still there. So it really drains me. So you can see, guys, all that's done, it's kind of just toned my skin slightly, kind of taken out the red, color corrected everything, and it's not very kind of heavy, and it really does suit the skin. That's how you know, guys, if you're ever in a store and you're wondering, okay, is this my skin tone? Usually every brand will have a tester section where there'll be a tester that's open, and you can kind of test by the neck. So if you ever go down the neck, you then know kind of what your skin tone is, basically, if it matches and you can't really see. I'm not married, no. Because that's it really. So you can see it has made a little bit of a difference, but not kind of too much. I don't want to go too heavy because we are going to be doing autumn makeup, and we're going to be using the NYX Ultimate, and this is just the mattes shadow palette. We do that. We used the W7 Socialite palette the last time. Sorry if my voice is going, guys. I'm not feeling too good. Aiden, hi Aiden, how are you? I think it's just after 8:30. So yeah. I was meant to come on yesterday, but I was just saying I was quite ill. So but yeah, it's just after 8:30 in the UK here. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I can even feel my voice going, sorry, is going to look for that concealer. Where have I put it? How have you been, Aiden? And then something I've been meaning to use, guys, but I kept overstepping or skipping it by accident, is the Makeup by Mario, and it's the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. You said you would go live on Tuesday. Yeah, I said I'd go live on Wednesday, I think, because Tuesdays are my overnights in work. But Wednesday, I usually go Monday, Wednesdays, Sundays, and I couldn't go yesterday. I was just quite ill. Tuesdays not usually. It's usually Wednesdays and Mondays and Sundays. But I've just been really ill, so today I know this is my first Thursday going live. So yeah. So what we're gonna do. Hi Yasmin, how are you? Pop this on. This is the Makeup by Mario, and it's a soft sculpt skin enhancer. So you can kind of use it really for anything. If you wanted to use it as a contour, get 2 or 3 shades darker and use it as a sculptor. And then if you want it just as a skin enhancer, that's what I'm going to do. It's really creamy as well, guys. I've had this for a long time, actually. It does last a long time. This is what it looks like, guys, just in case. So this is Makeup by Mario, and I would say they're kind of in between high end and low end. I wouldn't say they're kind of, you know, super high end. And it is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. So you can use it either way. Get a couple of shades deeper if you want to sculpt, but go your own shade if you just want to kind of enhance the skin. So I'm sorry about the live, guys. So it's usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and it's just been, I've just been so ill, so dizzy, feeling really dizzy. Doesn't matter how much I hydrate, feeling, you know, weak. It doesn't matter how much I eat. It doesn't. I don't know what's going on. So obviously that's what the MRI is for. Um, I really don't know. So my friends were like, just go to the GP, and I was like, well, if the neurology can't do anything, can't really think a GP would have the same power. So it's really strange. I'm just feeling so ill, you know. So Cower, what's your oh, sorry, Cower, I didn't see your messages there. I'm from Ireland, but I'm living in the UK at the minute. So all I'm doing is kind of, and you'll see, guys, it doesn't really, you can see how deep it is when it goes on, but actually when you buff it in, it just kind of gives a nice shine, like it says, like a skin enhancer. So that's what I'm doing with that, and then we'll pop on the concealer. Sorry, Kazar, I didn't see your messages there. Sorry about that. Ireland, I'm from Ireland, but I'm living in the UK. So I'm really hoping, guys, that because I'm hydrating myself and saying, okay, probably just because I'm not, you know, drinking a lot of water, my legs are going really weak and from under me. So it's just really, and when you're walking, it kind of feels like three-dimensional. I don't know how to explain it. It's very recent, so I'm not really sure what's going on. It's kind of scary sometimes when you're usually very kind of, you can walk and you can do all these things practically, but you actually over like you just wake up one day and like you don't feel your legs one day, and then you feel them the next day, and then they're like pins and needles, and then you fall, and it's just, and I explained everything to the neurologist. I didn't let anything go. I said, this has happened, and I thought she'd say, okay, this sounds like this, and then she was like, I actually, this sounds concerning, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head what this could be. So it's kind of, I was saying to my friend and my mom, if she had said, yes, this is it, I would have felt more comfort, even if it was scary. But because she said, I have no idea what this is, we're going for an MRI, that kind of scared me slightly. So yeah, hopefully it's just, you know, something, I don't know, you can't say something minor when you keep falling and you feel dizzy. I don't know, guys, I really don't. Okay, I'll catch up. Hi Tassos, how are you? I was hoping to kind of catch you and Kaya today. I think Kaya, I don't know if she's on, it might be a bit late. I thought I could do 8 o'clock, but 7:30, I think I'm just gonna have to stick with 7:30 just because of my health at the minute. Hope you're well, Tassos. Oh, thank you, Dick. Hi, Lily. Haven't been on, work is crazy at the minute. I understand. I feel the same. I understand that completely. Yeah, so you've got my sympathy. Dick Smith, I'm home because I've no strength in my left MA. Okay. I have the same thing. I have no strength in my left arm and hand. Oh, wow. Is that just recent? Or is that something that has happened over time? For me, I just felt when I was moving. The first time it happened is when I was moving house, and I had come back from popping like one of my boxes that I just packed into the van, and I was on my way back on my phone, didn't even feel anything that was going to happen, and my leg, I just felt like it wasn't even there, and I went right down onto the tarmac. I went right down onto the tarmac and cut myself all this side. So, and like people said, like, oh, you must have felt something, and I actually didn't feel anything. So yeah, let's just hope. And because I work as a support worker, guys, it is kind of, you know, I have spoke to my boss about it because obviously, you know, she wants to support me, but she also knows that I look after other people, particularly overnights. So basically, guys, from 8 to 3 in my job, there's 2 of you. And then from 3 to say you're overnight from 7:30 the next morning, it's just 1, which is usually fine. But now I didn't feel right not telling her I don't feel well because I'm looking after these people, and their response, I'm responsible for them until the next person comes in. So yeah, I hate taking up the whole live with talking about me, guys, so do let me know how you are. Lily, I hope work hasn't been that stressful. Since the 10th of August. Oh, wow. Have you been to the GP? Olena, hello from Ukraine. Have a nice stream. Oh, hello from, hi, Olena. How are you? Like, your lovely name. I love that name. I hope you're well. So all I'm doing, guys, that was the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. And I know it looks like I put on such a small amount, but you'll see what I mean. Tassos, I hope you've been well. I always like to chat to you when you come on, and Kaya is probably too late for her. I feel really bad because she popped on a comment yesterday because I couldn't make it. Or Kaya, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But if you do catch up afterwards, Kaya, comment below. There'll be a video on Saturday. It's a longer form video. So as you can see, guys, all I'm doing is being super gentle with my finger and just Rumpelstiltskin. Doesn't it hint at some nerve or heart related issue? You look great. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. You too. You too. Absolutely. 100%, Alina. Take care of yourself as well. And thank you. You should consult a doctor ASAP. Well, I've just been saying since the beginning, I've actually been to a neurologist. So, yeah, I've explained everything. I've been to a neurologist last week. I don't know if you were here on the live at the beginning. You might not have been. So I was at a neurologist and they're sending me for an MRI. So I have been to a GP and a neurologist. So I am waiting for that. So they're aware of it. But really unsure of what it could be. So that's it, guys. I've just really been super gentle under the eyes. Thank you, Kazar. I hope you have someone who supports you there. Oh, that's okay, Rumpelstiltskin. It's good to have kind of to chat to new people. I thought it might have been heart related too, or possibly thyroid, and I said that to the GP, or sorry, the neurologist, and she didn't think so, which surprised me. Because I know I'm not professional, but I did Google my symptoms. You should never do that, but I did, and that's what came up. So, but she didn't think so. So, I hope you have someone who supports you there. Not in that sense, no. It's and my mum is quite ill herself, so I tell her things, but then I hold back on some things because I don't want her to kind of worry either. I tell her things, obviously, that I feel are important, but I kind of, if I have a bad day, I'll definitely tame it down when I speak to her because she'll just worry. She's in a different country. I know she can't do anything. You know, obviously, if I have a really bad day, I'll say okay, and I'll say to her in a way that's not as dramatic. But if I'm feeling very ill, I'll probably just say, oh, I'm working late, but actually I'm in bed trying to sleep it off. It's probably not healthy, but she's not well herself, so I don't want to kind of, you know, burden her either. So I've just kind of put the concealer in my T-zone and under the eyes. What we're going to do now is, again, do let me know how you are, guys. I don't want it to kind of take up the whole live with myself. You're committed one. Okay. I'm going to go with the under eyes with the Super Matte Fix, and it's the Rose. This is the Revolution Rose baking powder. I just use it under the eyes, and then I set with a different setting powder. So we're going to just set the under eyes first. You can comes in banana. It comes in light banana light. This is the pink rose one here, and it literally I just do it under the eyes. But how has everybody else been? We're on Thursday, so we're kind of closer to the weekend now, aren't we? Which is good. And that's what it looks like. It's just a little triangle puff, and it's perfect for under the eyes, really. How's work been for you, Tassos? I don't know what that is. Yeah, okay. Okay. I need to find a new series now. One of my friends said that I Fought the Law is starting to come out on Netflix, but I've never heard of it. Apparently, it's a true crime story, but it's being documented. It's like a series. It's been made into a series, so she knows what I like. But I haven't. It's called I Fought the Law, and it's got a really famous actress in it. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but she just said take a look at the intro, so I must do that. Okay. Andrew, can I ask you something? Sure. Bye, Kassar. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I Fought the Law. It's apparently it's a true story about how the double jeopardy law came into effect in England. So double jeopardy law is when somebody can't be tried for a crime twice. So I think this person committed a crime. Basically, everybody knew he did it. at the time there was no kind of I guess no proof basically. And so like 20 years went by, but the family knew he did it, and so the family introduced the double jeopardy law, which I think has been in America for years. And basically the double jeopardy law is you can't be tried for the same crime twice, and I think they were the first people in the UK who were able to get that put into law in the UK, that something like that. But it's a true story, and apparently it's like in 6 different sections, like it's kind of branched out instead of one documentary, and it's actresses, so it's like a series, six different series, so episodes basically, not series. So yeah, I think in America and other countries, double jeopardy law has been there for years, where basically double jeopardy means that somebody, if there's new evidence found, somebody can be tried for the same crime twice, and that hasn't happened in the UK, I think, until this case happened. So yeah, it's something kind of along the crime line. Essie, hi Essie. Dick, I'm in love. Andrew, do you have any time to vacuum up a random sock? Okay. Tassos, 2 or 3 people quit. It's stressful kitchen environment. Health-wise, I'm okay. I'm longing for rain. We got rain today, and I couldn't have been more happy about it. We've had 27 degrees for like I don't know how long. I'm glad you're okay health-wise though. I'm gonna start swimming next week. The gym membership, I had to wait for it to be activated, whatever that meant. So even though I did, when I was saying to you that I did the introduction and everything, it had to be activated, whatever that meant. So yeah, apparently it's activated on Friday, so I can start using the gym. Don't know what any of that means because it was paid for and everything, so kind of odd, but maybe just paperwork or something. But yeah, I need they come to me for support. Who comes to you for support? Oh, the people that quit, do they come to you for support first? It's awful when people quit in your job, because then you're just called in. I know that from experience. You are just called in to kind of cover and things like that. Yeah, I've heard about double jeopardy law. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I think that's why, because when I heard the title, I thought the law, I thought that was quite, in Ireland, that can be so many things because of our history, which I'm obviously very proud of. But still, when you hear I fought the law, yeah, it's so yes. Well, I've probably done enough there. So that's just the Revolution Pink Rose, and it's just a setting powder that I do in the T-zone, and then I do it in the under the eyes basically, and we're going to leave that there. Now we're going to go in with the Collections mattifying powder here, and this is enriched with vitamin E. But yeah, I've always been interested in kind of documentaries and things like that. Smells, I've only used it once, but it smells a bit like soap, so I don't know. So we're going to use the Big Bertha, and this is just a face brush from an American company called DJS Beauty. So I find those things really interesting. So we're just going to set the rest of the face. It's going to mattify everything a bit. It's not going to be so oily. But I definitely need a break or a holiday of some sort. But I know this year it won't really happen because I've just moved house, which was like super expensive. Renting in the UK is crazy. It really is. Really crazy. Okay. I think that we can hear the wind. It's crazy. How is your sleep? I'm getting about 4 hours, I would say, a night, which is, the other day I got 6, which is really good for me. But yeah, it's hard to fall asleep, and then when I do fall asleep, it's hard to wake up again. So yeah, I think I do just need like 4 or 5 4 or 5 days just to kind of, but going, like, renting is just so expensive here as well. So I think the stress of that while I was moving was kind of quite intense. It was keeping me awake, and now I'm just trying to make sure, now that I've moved and everything like that has happened, my health seems to have gone down a different way. So yeah, like, even if I've had a full day off, I'll still feel like I've run a marathon. I can't explain it. It's very strange. But I'm glad I've gone to the doctor, I've gone to neurology, so I'm just waiting for their kind of SC, rent keeps going up in Holland too. Yeah, rent is crazy. And the thing is, you can have a really good credit rating. You can't be approved for a mortgage, but you can be approved for rent and have a really good credit rating. It's just, and then I think the prices now are just like, I've had a friend who's just bought a house and she's moved actually to a different county, but she purposely moved. Now she drives, so it's absolutely fine, but she purposely moved, I think 3 or 4 counties away where it was super cheap, 3 bedroom house and with a garden, and she it's a first time buyer, so she's now on the property ladder, whereas I'm not driving just yet, so it wouldn't make any sense. But obviously then guys, the deposits they need is ridiculous. You know, it's not reflecting, I think, the times and the price increases of what we're all having to pay. Like they're keeping the price, you know, the deposit, you know, everything, they're keeping that like how it was 10 years ago, and people can't do that these days. So yeah, it can be definitely stressful, but now I've got somewhere that's quite close to work, so that's okay. But I just find, you know, it doesn't matter how much I work, it doesn't matter, you know, something always crops up that I need to pay for. And I think even if, you know, my friend did get a house, but it's not like a paid off. She is now on a monthly mortgage and a fixed rate for the first 3 years, which is great. But even at that, it's not like a paid off house or anything. She's on a mortgage now for, I guess, 30 years, or however long she wants, you know, to be on it. But it's still quite nerve wracking because, you know, you're still gonna have to make sure that you have everything paid every month. And yeah, so it is definitely, it seems like about 10 years ago, it was easier to kind of live than it is now, which is a bit sad, really. Um, okay, so we've kind of set everything now, guys. We're going to go in with a bronzer. We're going to go in with the, yeah, location-wise, I'm about 10 minutes away from work. So that's good. It can be good and bad because now my boss is calling me saying, "Oh, you're just down the road. Can you cover in for this person?" And I'm like, "Okay." So this is the Bronzing Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops, and it's from Drunk Elephant. There are a lot of dupes out there, W7, Elf, Revolution. I kind of stupidly jumped on the bandwagon when this came out. Not stupidly, but I mean, I could afford it, but I think there was other things I could have got. But Drunk Elephant are very much known for their moisturizers and their creams and things like that. They do other things too, but I have got now Elf and things like that as well. Rumpelstiltskin, these are the happy days. I reckon the worst is yet to come. I think there is more worse to come with certain presidents, but I'm not going to go there. This isn't a political channel. I'm not going to go there. Rumpelstiltskin, not being alarmist here. Things actually headed that way. I completely get that. It's not being alarmist or negative. It's just reality, isn't it? I totally get that. And I think there's a certain, I'm not blaming him for everything, but he hasn't helped the situation. Okay. Okay, so some people get their brush, guys, and just start to rub it all over their face. I like to warm it up on the skin, and then I just dot it where I need it, basically. A little goes a very long way. And I just put it around. This isn't a contour in any way, it's just a bronze. They're anti-pollution bronzing drops, and it says that they have peptides in them as well. But I agree, I do think there's worse to come. So every time I complain about, oh, I've got to work, I've got to do this, then I feel bad because I know there's other people in the same situation, but then obviously my health is probably not benefiting from any of that. So yeah. So this is just the Real Techniques contour brush. And we're just going to, you can see from when it comes on to when you kind of brush it out that it's not as strong as when it actually blends out, guys. Tassos, I just got my salary and it's less than it should be, and it's obvious now that they lied to me at the interview. Everything is great. I've had it where I've done more shifts and it's been like she only did 7 overnights, and it's like, oh, hell no, I didn't just do 7 overnights and I've only been paid for that. Then you have to call HR. I really sympathize with you, Tassos. If they lie to you at the interview, they have to pay you that if it's in an agreement. Tassos, do you have a contract that says that? Because they have to go by that contract. They can't. You can go to HR, can't you? I've had to do that. We have protests now for women's safety during the night. Some awful things have been happening in my city. Where are you, Essie? Where are you living? I moved from an area like that, and I've experienced kind of somewhat situations like that, and it's very scary, very very scary. Um, Actually, in London, and I can't believe, and maybe they have done this before. You can let me know, but in London, a group of women got qualified to be taxi drivers, and they're called pink taxis, and it's for women that just want to get home after a night out, or maybe they just feel like they want a taxi home. It's literally orientated towards women passengers, and it's a woman driver. So that's something. But I think, I've always been, even since I was a teenager, it's crazy. I've always known, look behind me, look who's behind me, whether it's night or day, or I scan. I think women just scan more than men, don't they? Not because it's, on purpose, it's because they have to. You have to kind of scan around, and I've been, yeah, it's not a good feeling. Um but it's like, don't jog at night, don't do all these things, and you kind of have to not do those things. But you live in Amsterdam. What part of Amsterdam? I live in Amsterdam. A poor girl was unalived 10 minutes from my house. She was just 19. Oh my goodness. It's just awful, isn't it? It's absolutely awful. And not all men. There is really lovely men out there. I've got friends, they're really nice people, but you do have those men, and I'm not saying just men, but particularly for women, you do have some men that just are psychologically built differently. That's the only way you can say they're just psychologically built differently. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's sociopathic. It's like exes, for example. Sometimes um, exes don't want to let go, or things like that, or you just have this random person who you unfortunately pass by at night or day, and women are just unfortunately 100 times more vulnerable. So these friends in London, they just got together. Even their cars are pink. It's like called pink taxis. um and yeah, they support women trying to get home and things like that. And I hope like this kind of brings a lot more people, a lot more women together, maybe thinking they can do the same thing. So yeah, um Essie, I really feel for that girl and her family. And obviously if it's very close to you, obviously that's going to make you feel, um that's the one thing about driving. I hope when my long-term illness calms down, that I can start. I've done my theory, but I think women driving, and even my friends have said it. One of my friends only passed her test, I think, a year ago, and she just says she even feels a little bit more safer. But let's have a look. Sorry, I'm catching up. Hi, Hello, how are you? Rumpelstiltskin, they will have excuses. HR will say that was your cost to company. Your in-hand salary will be less. They're terrible, I know. Essie, yes, it's not safe. I wouldn't let anyone, even my daughter, out at night. Absolutely not. No way. Tassos, Rumpel, exactly. That's what's happened to me. By the way, I have no idea what makeup you're doing. I'm just here for the conversation. That's absolutely fine. I do the lives for that purpose. I do explain what I'm doing, but definitely the lives are more for conversation and things like that. This is just like an autumn kind of, because we're coming into autumn now, kind of look. But yeah, absolutely. The lives are certainly more for conversation, for sure. You're an average goat. I'm psychologically not human. Okay. At Tassos, talking from experience. It's the same everywhere. Essie, I love that pink taxis. Yes, they kind of came out last week. And I'm surprised no one's done it already, because it's such a good idea. Women need to feel protected, and we don't. And I think from a very young age, you start to not, you just, unfortunately, we kind of grow up a little bit quicker, not in a mature way. I don't mean it in that sense, but you do feel, and I certainly did growing up, you do kind of become more aware, maybe. But definitely. So, have they caught who did it, Essie? Have they caught the person? Aloe, what are pink taxis? So basically, we've just been talking about kind of where it's safe for women and where it's not safe. And we were just talking about some things that have happened. And a group of people in London, a group of women, have created their own taxi firm called Pink Taxis. And it's just geared towards women. So if they want to go home, or they don't feel safe, or they don't want, they just want to get home safe, it's a women only taxi company. So it's all women that drive you home. It's kind of safer, that kind of thing. So they've just started in London. And when I say this, guys, I'm not saying anything about men, anti-men at all. I'm not that way, you know, or orientated. But I think there, like I said before, there are just certain, and I'm not saying there is women like that too, but particularly there can be people like that in terms of men that just don't have the best kind of plans in their head, that kind of thing. Um, so yeah. Aloe, that's a really great initiative. I think so, because I think women just feel like, imagine going out with your friends and having to say, okay, guys, I'm gonna leave at 10 because I don't want to be out when it's crowded. Or maybe say, you know, things like that. Women always think about, like I do when I meet my friends, or I think I say, okay, what time are we leaving? Or is it going to be dark? And like we're all kind of like, we almost plan the night like a diary, and it's just how we've always been. Um, but you know, if that was a kind of available to us, like there's a yellow or not yellow, pink taxis, I think we'd be very like, okay, let's just chill. We can all go home together. It can drop us off individually. Like it would be very kind of chilled out, you know. So I thought that was a great idea that they did. So maybe it'll start to take off now, you know. Tassos, do you ever have reoccurring thoughts of going home and thinking everything will magically go back to normal? I would love that, but I don't think, given my family setup back home, you know, sorry, there's like a helicopter going over by. Sorry, guys. It's not as hot as it was, but I certainly needed to open the window this afternoon. Um, yeah, I mean, everyone does. I think you always wish things were better, you know, but I'm trying to kind of like not worry mum about what's happening to me. I've told her obviously that I went to neurology, but it's not very comforting when your mum went to tell your mum they didn't know what it was, you know, so I guess I'm not gonna worry her until I need to. I hope I don't have to, but um, yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. But I thought that pink taxis was good, but um, yes, they caught him. It was a 22-year-old. He assaulted another young lady, and that's how they caught him. Well, I'm glad they caught him, but that poor woman, that second woman, this is what I mean. Where I just came from, there was a park called People's Park, and like it had memorials from like it was a very used park for families, for everything, and something similar happened about 6 months into me living there. And where I had to get the bus, I kind of walked through this little alley. Oh, guys, yeah. So I was always kind of alert, you know. I have friends that walk home and like pretend to be on their phone, and like I know that sounds so silly, but like if they see a guy coming this way, they'll pretend to be on their phone until they pass and stuff. And I know it sounds really, really silly, but it's things that like we think about, you know. You know, and there's amazing guys out there. We're not saying that at all. I don't want people to think that if they're coming on, you know, watching that, you know, it's not anti-men in any way, but it's just, I think that women just have to, and girls just have to be a little bit more careful, maybe is probably the best way. Um, okay, but yeah, work-wise, Tassos, I totally can sympathize with that. It's a shit. I hope they do kind of, particularly if they've said it to you in the interview, that that's your salary, and then they completely change their mind when it's time to pay you. That's quite bad, isn't it, guys? I think it's, you know, yeah. You know, you put a lot of hours working, you know, you put a lot of hours in, so you don't want to be working for free, basically. You know, so this is the Elf Holy Strokes Micro Fine Brow Pencil. So I might use that, or I might, yeah, so it's just a pencil. You warm it up a bit here so that before you actually pop it on. So that's what it looks like, and it's not as harsh as the Revolution that we used the other day. And you can see it kind of just fills in the gaps, basically. It's the other one I used, the Revolution, I think was super strong, and I didn't, this is it here, and I think it did just come off extremely dark, and I didn't want to do that today. So we're just going to okay, so yeah, you can see it just kind of tidies them up, basically. Rumpelstiltskin, always trust your gut instinct, and in doubt, run. That's my motto. Oh my goodness, yes. It's and I guess it can happen to guys too. You know, some guys are walking home and you know they get into a bad situation, and you know it's not just women, but I think women are just naturally more vulnerable, aren't they? But definitely, you know, anything that you can feel to make yourself. I mean, a lot of women here have this like little alarm. They just kind of, they pull this alarm and it just makes a massive sound, and it's like a distraction, and it, in hopes that the person will run away. Essie, I wish we could carry pepper spray. You can in America. My auntie lives in San Francisco. Um, and yeah, apparently you can in America. But we can't here in the UK or Ireland. It's against the law. But in America, that the women or men, it doesn't, you know, they, you can carry pepper spray, I think, as far as I know. Andorf, I'm almost done. Please stay on. Okay, Andorf, do you mean, can you not see me properly? Or what's all over your display, Andorf? Aloe, I'm so scared sometimes and it makes me sad. Yeah, it can be very frightening, and I understand that, guys. I mean, I think there's never just kind of one woman that hasn't had, or girls, something slightly happen to them, you know, in whatever kind of level it is. You know, so it can be very scary, you know, when you think about these things. And especially, like you say, Essie, if something happens to you in your area, like you say, I think it was 10 minutes away, so obviously that's, for you, that's going to kind of be on your mind because you've got your daughter and everything else. So absolutely. Ava Hussein, can you do chav makeup? Okay. All right. But I think if I ever had a daughter, I don't think she'd be able to walk out on her own until she's about 45, and even at that, I would feel like I'd be the most overprotective person. I think completely, totally overprotective, for good reason, I think. Okay, so Tassel, swimming will help you, I think. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of somebody right here. Okay. Yeah, swimming, I'm hoping Tassos will. I've always liked it. I've preferred it to the gym. I've tried the gym. I did a kind of, like I said, an intro and introduction, and it was interesting, don't get me wrong, but it's just not me. It's not for me. And I think swimming is an all over kind of cardio workout, isn't it? It's not something that you're not going to be using just one part of your body for. So yeah, swimming for me. Rumpelstiltskin, I got waylaid by two guys with machete once around 3 a.m. They couldn't outrun me though. Oh my gosh. Thank God you're a good runner. This is what I mean. I don't think it's, you know, it is obviously specific in some ways that don't need to be kind of said in words to women, you know, obviously, and girls. I don't think that's needs to be put into words, and that's why they are more scared or we are more scared. But obviously, guys, as like I said before, are super vulnerable too. I'm so glad you're able to outrun them. Oh my goodness. The one thing, guys, that made me leave where I was before is obviously that lady. There was a lady in People's Park that was on her way home from work, and obviously something happened to her. And then a new taxi firm just came into the area that we'd never heard of before. And it turned out that they weren't a taxi firm. They were just putting taxi sticker on their cars, and they were following little girls to school who were like 9 and 10. So they were caught, luckily, very, very quickly. And I just thought this isn't just, this is not, I can't do this. I just can't, you know, because obviously, you know, when you don't drive as a woman anyway, I think it can often, you know, as autumn and winter comes in, you do feel, well, I feel, I suppose, vulnerable, I should say. Now that work is like 10 minutes away, I don't feel as vulnerable. Would I still work home? Would I still walk home from work at 10 o'clock at night? Probably not. Like, get a taxi for 5 minutes. I don't care what they say. Oh, it's only going to cost you £5. I don't care. You're driving me home. That's it. You know, that's just, you know, but yeah, it got quite bad where I was before. And I just knew if I don't kind of, if I don't do something, I'll just, you know, you just don't want to, you know, so. aloe creeps are everywhere. Either it's road schools, public transport, or even these live streams. I get it. I've had to remove, and I don't read it out, guys, but I've had to remove some person already. But yeah, I get it. I think you do that. You kind of, I think lives are kind of like the online version of kind of being in public, aren't they? It can be great for meeting people, but also you do have those creeps that come in. But in saying that, there's been really nice people that I've met on here, you know. So I am saying it to a specific group of men. It's not everyone at all. You know, there's great people out there, but it's just about women having to have kind of literally maybe eyes in the back of their head sometimes. Essie, same for a son. Yeah, absolutely. I think men and women for sure. Absolutely. Essie, guys get into horrible fights, and these days there are a lot more weapons on kids. Yes, they carry them, don't they? Yeah, I know. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of set the bronzer that we just popped on with the e.l.f. quad. But yeah, I agree. Boys are just as vulnerable. So this is the e.l.f. quad, guys. It's not new in any way. I'm going to use the warmer tone brown just to kind of go over the bronze that we did. But I'm going to try and get myself into a healthier position. You know, when I feel, the thing is, when you're feeling dizzy and stuff, you don't really want to go swimming just in case and stuff. So once I get this MRI, I'm hoping just to find out what it is and go from there. So this is the e.l.f. quad. And we're just going to go in, like I said, with that warmer brown. And I know I'm not looking great. I apologize, guys. I hate coming on and then seeing myself and going, oh my God, why did you go live? Yeah, not in a kind of, you know, way that I want to be perfect, but in a way that I know I look sick. Okay, so we're just going to go around the areas, literally just the areas that I did with the, but, you know, I think the area I'm in now is definitely safer than the area I was in before, but I think when you're on your own as well, you do have that extra thought in your head, you know. But if I ever had a daughter, I think she would be I don't know, I would yeah, she wouldn't be allowed anywhere until she was 55. That's probably over exaggerating, but it's probably in my heart what I'd want to do. And a son, don't get me wrong, but I think you just worry about a daughter more, wouldn't you? Tassos, you look great as always. Oh, thank you. Just a little bit worried, which is normal. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, definitely. Essie, you look fabulous. Oh, thank you. I don't feel it, but thank you. I really wanted to come on to you guys and not let you guys down, because I know yesterday is my day to go on, and I felt like I couldn't even walk properly. I'd had food, so I thought I'd have energy. I'd had a drink, hydrating, and I still, nothing was making it any better. So it's worse when I'm in work, guys, because then I kind of think to myself, do I call my manager, see what I can do? Can I get through this? Because I'm kind of in charge of the 4 of the guys, and they're obviously vulnerable. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get through it. John, cute, thank you. So what I'm going to do is, I can see it's still gotten a bit oily, and I think it's literally the heat. We're still having that kind of humidity, I think. So what I might do is just go back before we go on to the blush with this. But has anybody else ever had like a health scare like this? This is my first major kind of thing, I guess, in the sense of like the neurology side of things being kind of unexplained. I think when somebody says, even if it's not great news, you get a diagnosis, that in itself at least is a diagnosis. When a neurologist kind of sits at the opposite end and says, I don't know, you know, I really don't know, that's kind of when, you know, I was on the bus going home going, okay, I think I actually would have preferred to know, but obviously if they don't know, they're not going to risk it and not do an MRI. So I know they're doing the right thing. It's just a little bit worrying, that's all. So, but it's good to come on to chat to you guys. Tassos and everyone else that comes on, it's always good to kind of find out about you guys as well. So, you know, always let me know what you guys are up to too, because sometimes I feel like I talk. I've been told that I talk too much sometimes, so take that into account as well. Okay, so all I'm doing is just mattifying everything. because you can see, guys, even from the, it is just very warm. So I don't want you to think the products aren't good. It is, it's just extremely warm at the minute. So like the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator is really good. Once you have an SPF under this, it's really, really good. So I do think it's literally just the humidity that we're having. But I'm like that. Once I get into facts about things or a documentary I watch, I'll talk to friends about it for like, they're probably tired. And they're like, oh, that's fascinating. It's like, okay, you can tell when people are a little bit tired of it. That's fine. I think it comes from being an only child, and I didn't have an only child. I didn't have an only child. I have like a half brother. My dad kind of married again and that kind of thing. But we were kind of, I say half, well, yeah, same dad, different mums. And when we were much younger, we were always together every summer. I went to Boston to see them every single summer. But the rest of the year, I'd be like an only child and he'd be an only child. So like you didn't get the social interaction that like all my friends got. So like they were super outgoing, like super, super outgoing. Um and yeah, so it was hard, you know. So just gonna pop that under the eye. I think when you have, say, brothers or sisters, you kind of grow up naturally in a social environment. Um, but yeah, so my brother kind of felt the same thing. Like I'd go home, and then he'd have his whole school year. Like I don't know. It's not that we were antisocial in any way. It was just, I don't know. It was it's kind of hard to explain, you know. Okay, I'll catch up. Sorry. Jerry, yeah, single or not, yes. Essie, I almost faint every time I work out and stand up. It's really annoying. I also want a second opinion. Really? Wow. And that's with you being hydrated and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Mine was fainting and my leg, my right leg, kind of just going. Tassos message retracted. Weren't you outgoing growing up, Tassos? Not as a child, no. Not really as a teenager either. Maybe in my 20s I kind of found a group that I was really, when I left uni, I kind of found a group that was really kind of, were more my kind of, not my, that sounds weird, my kind of people, but people I could relate to more. Um but I didn't, not when I was kind of in school, because some kids were like really understanding, but in Ireland, guys, the majority of families were two-parent families because it's a hugely Catholic country, and obviously my mum and dad split before I was born, so I was automatically, before I even had any control or knowledge of it, in a completely different family setting. And so some children obviously just displayed what their parents raised them as, and some people were kind of quite mean to my mum and were very judgmental because she was a single mum, and then others were quite welcoming. So I had a bit of both, and that came through in their children. So when I'd go to school, some of them were great, and then they were my friends, and some of them weren't exactly the kindest about, you know, that situation. Um, so it kind of made me just very self-aware as a young child, and it made me quieter maybe. So when I got home and I was with my cousins or maybe my family, yes, I was definitely more chatty, but then I definitely felt more vulnerable or maybe self-aware than going into school or things like that, for sure. It just made you more kind of, and I think, you know, it was very rare to have a single parent family when I was growing up, very rare. And in fact, I don't think in primary school, when I, and this is the first time I've thought about it, in primary school, I think everybody had, you know, not that it's something that I ever thought about at the time, but I don't think there was another friend I had actually that was in my situation. But yeah, it was just kind of, and as I grew older, you know, in secondary school, it was definitely more accepting, and I did meet other people. But primary school was crazy. It was just, you should be enjoying life and running around and stuff, you know. Because I was obviously, then I became a teacher, and you know, I kind of saw all these different kind of children from different backgrounds, and I felt, or really felt bad for some of them because I could relate, and then other ones I felt was great because they were really, really kind of getting on really well. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? As you go. Um, um, okay. Sorry, I'm just. catching up, guys. Sorry, this is what I mean. I just talk and I talk. Sorry. Okay. Essie, I don't really talk much, but I love listening to people. I'm also an only child. Yeah, I mean, I find myself in certain situations, I'll like scan the room or scan, or when I start work somewhere, there'll be certain personalities that I'd be more comfortable talking to than others. And I do that in social situations, I think social settings. And Jerry, genuinely, you're also okay. Liv, hello, I'm back. Hi, Liv. John, that must be hard. Liv said hi. Hi, Liv. Raptor Sean said hi. Raptor, are you Irish? Yes. Rumpelstiltskin, I'm the youngest of 3, and I have been sworn never to grow up. Yeah, always be a child at heart. That's what I say. Essie, it was rare now that you say it. It was really, particularly when I was growing up, and even people were more when you got to teenagers, they were more understanding, but they still came from, I'd say, 2-parent households. I still didn't see. I think only into my 20s I might have seen met a friend that came from a single parent household. So it was very unusual, I think. At Rapture, I'm not sure. I just randomly scroll and don't find her live much. Okay. John saying Bear Boy. Hi, Raptor Sean. Oh, okay, Rumple. And Lofty Edits. Hi, how are you, Lofi? I haven't seen you in so long. Hope you're well. John Rare. Okay. So we've kind of just done the bronzer, guys. But yeah, it's not something to kind of feel. It's only when you kind of grow older and you kind of, even just because I worked with kids, I kind of started to think back naturally. Like, it just makes you kind of think of your own childhood. But yeah, when you think back to it, there was not many single parent families in the 90s or early 80s, I guess, or late 80s, I should say. Sorry. Maybe there was, it just wasn't. So I think the thing I mean to say is socially accepted, and this is Ireland. I'm not judging anyone else, and even Ireland has come a very long way. But back then, just from my experience, my mum's experience, and she was quite young as well, so I think everything just put together, it wasn't, but we had, we did do well in the end, we but it was difficult. So this is just the PS blush pigmented highlighter, and this is from Primark. So and this is in Sangria. It's a really nice color. Be super light with it though. I'll do a swatch for you if you've never seen it. A really nice color. I'm into kind of the deep pinks at the minute, so super strong. So I'm going to be really light with this. But yeah, okay, it's just been a bank holiday weekend here, but I was working. But so I am going to blend that out, guys. I am going to blend it out. I'm not going to leave it there. Okay. Okay. So all I'm doing is just kind of blending it out so it doesn't look harsh. And you can see there's kind of a shimmer in it. And Primark blushes, guys, I'd never tried them before, but they're actually really, really nice, and they're a good value for money as well. So there we go. So all I'm doing is just, so that's kind of it there. Rumpelstiltskin. Oh no, Karen, me and Raptor know each other from another stream. We were talking about that. Sorry, that's okay. You guys chat to each other. That's absolutely fine. Lofi, I remembered that we were going to chat live on Sunday, but unfortunately there was a lot of stuff going on in my family and college. That's absolutely fine. Everyone has things, don't they? Me included. I was supposed to be on yesterday and it just didn't happen. But I'll always let you guys know in the post section. John, judging is okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of prime my lips. We're not going to be doing anything. We're not going to be doing anything kind of with the lips yet, but I'm just going to moisturize them because, and then whatever we do towards the end, they've just been moisturized. But yeah, I do enjoy coming on and chatting to you guys. Even now, it's funny, like in my job, there's still no person that comes from like a family like I did, which is, I mean, that's probably a good thing, to be honest. It's a very good thing. But yeah, it does make me feel like, you know, and I think me and Dan were very, very confused when we were younger because, you know, we were a brother and sister, and then he was about 5 when we met, and I was 9 when I met him, and so we didn't meet to each other till we were 5 and 9. So that was surprising to say, just to be introduced, this is your brother, this is your sister. So that in itself was very, you know, a lot to take on. And then obviously we got used to each other and saw each other every summer, and then realized, okay, we're definitely not the same as every other family. But yeah, it was just kind of and it definitely, I think, affected both of us in relationships as we got older, for sure, definitely. Um, but hey, you know, we're not, you know, you kind of just become your own person, and you just like try to just do the best you can do for yourself, really, which is, I'll just catch up. Um, Essie, my mother was a single mom with a mixed baby, so I can relate. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Essie. Amana Moo, hi. Hi. Bakari. Bakari Wallace, my friend has died and he was 23. I'm so sorry. Raptor, yes, I know Rumple from another stream. Yeah, okay. Essie, how long have you worked with kids? I work with young adults now with autism, but I worked with kids for about 7 years. Yeah, as a Montessori teacher, then special needs. And then I went into an after school and a primary, and I managed that for a while, primary school. Clint Ramaraski, kisses. Lofi, I missed 4 to 5 live streams. That's okay. Honestly, life for me at the minute has just been chaos, honestly. So, but I do love coming on and chatting to you guys. I really do. So what we're going to do now that that's all done is, if you've looked at my posts in the past or lives in the past, I set my face twice. So I set it once all the base makeup's on, which is like your primer, your foundation, you know, your setting powders. So I go in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. Raptor, do you know Conor McGregor? No, I don't. I know of him, but I don't know. Essie, whoa, that's so cool. I would like to become a CNA. Yeah, no, it was really interesting. Rumpelstiltskin, you must have been difficult to adjust to a new sibling that way, but I believe at a younger age, kids adapt fast. We did. It was very surprising, but we did adapt pretty quick. Tassos, it's always difficult, or do you have happy days at work with the young people? Yeah, absolutely. We have great days, absolutely great days, you know, and that's what we're there for as support workers, is to kind of help them, you know. But no, absolutely. There's days they just make me laugh, and we have the greatest of times. And then obviously I am there sometimes for their hospital days and when they're not amazing. But absolutely, our job is to help them back into the community again. So no, we have really, really good days. John, cute before. Okay. So all I'm going to do is spray, set everything. But yeah, no, they definitely brighten up my day. You know, when I've had a bad day, certainly do. Okay, so we're going to go in with the NYX Ultimate Mattes, and it's by no way new in any way. On the moon, I thought I was watching the moon. Okay. Essie, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, they do. They really kind of are very sweet, and I think sometimes their naivety actually makes them on the moon, but it's only 4:30 p.m. Okay. So this is what we're looking at, guys. So you can see there is a shimmer, but the majority are mattes. It is called the Ultimate Pressed Powder Mattes, but I think this one here is kind of a shimmer. We're going to go in the outer corner with that and the inner corner with something like this. So that's kind of what they look like. They are numbered. You get 16 shades, so that's quite good. To help them back to the community, I mean. Yes, absolutely. You know, it's a really good, it's a really good feeling, you know, when you do that. John, bad day. Okay. On the moon, Glow was born at NASA. Okay. So what I'm going to just take a quick look. I'm going to go in with this color here, and I'm going to go into the inner corner, and I always use my kind of fingers for anything going right into the inner corner of the eye. But I'm definitely kind of ready for something new, you know, definitely. I submitted, I've been into writing for quite a while, and I submitted I don't know, Lofi. I really don't. He's retracted 2 messages. You just get some people, you know, maybe he's talking about something, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what he's talking about. Bye, Rumpelstiltskin. Thank you for joining us. It was really great chatting with you. So this is what it looks like, and we're just kind of warming up the skin with this. And it's just going to give us like the, particularly if you've got brown eyes, I like to kind of start, some people put really dark colors in, particularly when it comes to autumn. But I think sometimes for me, a dark color on brown eyes can kind of bring it down slightly. So I kind of try and go in with any season of the year with a kind of brighter color on the inner corner for me. But yes, guys, I'm just ready for something new. I can't explain it. I'm just ready. Bye. It was really nice chatting to you. But 2 a.m. I can totally get that. Totally get that. So these aren't named really, guys. They're numbered. So this is number 3. I know. Yeah, from the top. So 3 from the top, and there you go. That's what that looks like. There's no names, but it's quite a nice. NYX are a really good brand, actually, guys. The one thing I did forget to do was put on my Profusion eye primer. But what I would love, guys, is to have like a really good, like I have friends, but I would love like a really good kind of set of people that, you know, like what we talk about online, like that, you know, good days, bad days, you know, that you can say anything to each other, and, you know, there's no kind of self-awareness or anything like that. Like I always see these like sayings that come up on Instagram. Oh, you should have a friend that you can say anything to, you know, or women supporting women, absolutely, but and men. But I think it's, as people get older, and different things happen and people fall into different sets of life. So for example, I do have friends, and a lot of my friends have kids, and a lot of my friends don't, and they're all different kind of, you know, some of my friends don't know my other friends. So it's kind of like a really weird situation to be in sometimes. It's kind of hard to explain. Okay. Tassos, what do you mean? Sorry, Tassos. I don't know what you mean, Tassos. Sorry. Lofi, do you like watching movies? Absolutely. I love watching movies. One of my favorite things. I like documentaries as well. So all I'm doing is kind of just making sure the inner part of my eye is going to kind of pop. So if we do put a darker color in, and even if we bring it over the crease, it's not going to kind of bring the eye down. If I had blue eyes or green eyes, I would bring that deep color in, because it would really make the green pop or the blue pop. But because I've got brown, it's, you know, it does. When you say you're expecting something new, no, I think I'm ready for something new. I mean, in my life, that's what I mean. I did not expecting, sorry, no, when I said like I'm ready for something new in life, you know, and whatever that is, I don't know. I'm ready, just for something. On the moon, have you always been on the moon? Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking of going in with this color here. I think on the moon is, it's kind of copper color, so we're just going to go on the outer corners. But I FaceTime my mum every single day. They love to sugarcoat. Okay. Um, I will. Okay. I think I don't know what he's doing. He's retracting all his messages now. Okay. He shouldn't be able to message now. But I really do I'm just ready for something new. I always find like that when I go to a different country, I always want to just learn their culture and stay longer than I actually can stay, particularly in Portugal. I've never been to Greece. I've always wanted to go to Greece. Um, Not just for the kind of the relaxing side of things, but I like to kind of just learn different things. I think that's probably evident in the fact that I live in a different country now. Um, but I've always been someone that doesn't mind where their home is once I feel comfortable and once I feel like I'm learning something. And that doesn't make any sense. I'm sure when people have kids, I'm sure when people have children, everything changes and it becomes about them. And you start to think of more permanent, and I have to have, I totally get that. But for me, I just, as you can see, I obviously don't live in Ireland. Love going back. Um, some things, guys, have changed in Ireland and some things haven't. So it's a beautiful place to visit, but it's a really nice place to visit, and I love going home and seeing family. But the longer I'm away, and maybe this is true for everyone. Like I had a friend who is an engineer, and he stayed in the same company for 20 years, and he had the job started in Australia, and he chose to come home. See, with me, I think I'd stay, but he missed Ireland so much that he stayed with the same company, got a job as an engineer in Ireland with the same company. But I think if that was me, I would have jumped at the chance to live in Australia for a while. Absolutely. I get that a lot, Chance. I don't know who this Felix from Stray Kids is. People say that all the time. I looked him up and he's like he's a man and he's Chinese, so I don't think that's I think I don't know what that is. Have you been to Greece, Tassos? I've never been. I've always wanted to go. Essie, you could write while you travel. Yeah, I'd love to be like a travel writer, or kind of interview people. I'd love that about different things. Or um who's your favorite actor? Um I've got a few. I like Melissa McCarthy. She's hilarious. I absolutely love her. Um I like um Michael Douglas. I used to like him in a lot of things. Not that he's been in anything in a long time. Keanu Reeves. I really like Keanu Reeves. Um, and the lady, that woman from Manifest. It's like a series. The main lead in Manifest. She's really, really good. And I really like Scarlett Johansson, but she was obviously in the latest Jurassic Park, which I won't go on about because but it's not her fault that the script wasn't great. But I like her as well, Scarlett Johansson. Okay, so I'm just bringing, guys, if you're wondering why I'm going a little bit further, I do have slightly hooded eyes, so I'm just bringing that copper color a little bit up, just a little bit further. If you don't have hooded eyes, stick with the crease, but I'm just going in a little bit further, just due to having this. So let's have a look. So when I googled Felix from Stray Kids, it came up with a Chinese man, so that really, I don't think, makes any sense. Essie, they say Sweden is a good place to live. I heard a lot of people say they want to go there now. Is that where they have like nurseries outside and all the children sleep outside in nurseries and stuff? I think I've heard of that. Like everything is like forest school and very open in nature and things like that. I think I have found that. Felix, Australia. Okay. Tassos, I am from it. Do you mean John? What's your favorite country? I would have said America, but now probably Portugal. Essie, Australia is nice and warm, but the bugs can kill you. I can imagine. I can imagine. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Bondi Beach, but that's probably a typical tourist thing to say. Um, I watched that lifeguard show. I think it is called Bondi. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched it before, but it's real life. It's a real it's a series following real lifeguards. So I watched that for years until it stopped. But I'd like to kind of go to more of the other kind of not so known places as well. My friend went to South Africa and did the safari, but I don't think I'd go that far. But yeah. John, a night date. Okay. Essie, yes, they have a lot of nature. Yeah, Bondi Beach. It's like I think it's got Bondi, I think Bondi Beach. And it's basically it's a really, really popular beach in Australia. And it follows the series follows real lifeguards and they have cameras on them and like when they go to rescue people and things like that. And then it goes a little bit into their social lives as well. So like when one of them got married, it kind of it filmed that. And then when one of them proposed, they wrote it, "Will you marry me in the sand?" And it was quite sweet actually. But it kind of John, stay safe. You too, John. Thank you for joining. But it was really interesting. So that's kind of the look, guys. It's definitely autumnal, but you're kind of sticking with that nice two-toned color, and then not kind of going too deep. So that's what we're at there. Now I did purposely get, hi Kazar, a new mascara, guys. I know I'm on a no buy, but that last mascara, guys, did absolutely nothing. So it's Collections, and I'd only ever used their foundation, but the Collections brand, I mean. But this is Eyes on Me Curl, and if you look at my last live, I think it didn't do anything for us. It's a pity because the brush itself is an amazing kind of shape, and you can see that it's like fiber mascara, but it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. So I've replaced it, and unfortunately this will have to be decluttered. I've replaced it with Scandalize from Rimmel, which isn't new in any way. I just needed a new one. And it's in Black is Black, so we're going to try and open that now. But yeah, Australia is somewhere I think would be very interesting to go to. Bulgaria is somewhere I always wanted to go. Again, I love kind of looking at places, but not going to all the touristy places. I like to kind of find out more about like the culture and things as well. That's why when I went to Portugal, I went to Almerso de Pera, which is just off of the Algarve. So yes, you could go into Albufeira if you wanted a night out or if you wanted something like that. But you still then were kind of off the beaten track, if you know, that kind of thing. So this is it, and oh my gosh, it won't open now. I should have opened it off camera. It's got that sticker on it. Okay, let's get that sticker off. He said hi. John, still cute. Essie, do you like hiking? I've never been, but I would like to go. I think it sounds really interesting. So what I will say, guys, is I've never used this before. I do know it's a very, very good rated product. This is Rimmel Scandalize Wow Wings in the Black is Black. That's what the colour they had left. But I knew I needed another one, guys. I mean, Collection are good, and I've had their foundations before. But if you saw that mascara on my last live, guys, it did nothing. It really did, which is quite surprising. But it did absolutely nothing. So we're going to try this. I've just cleaned off the product because I've never used this product before, and I don't want to just take it out and start putting it on and it clumps. So we're just going to find my mirror. What's your favorite product from NYX? Their oh, I used it the other day. Their foundation, their SPF 30. Their new kind of NYX butter something it's called. Butter Glaze, I think. Yeah, Butter Glaze SPF 30 foundation. Okay, I'm going to just get rid of Andrew because okay. Okay, sorry guys, just a second. I'm just catching up now. John, still waiting. What do you mean, John? You said stay safe, so I thought that you were leaving. Essie, I really want to hike the mountains in Nepal someday. I like to see the different vegetation and landscapes. That sounds really interesting. Yeah, it really does. Has anyone here been to Ireland before? If you're not from Ireland on here. I know the popular places to go are Dublin, but there's really nice places other than Dublin in Ireland. That's where I'm from. Lofi edits. Have you watched Mike and Molly? The entire series? Yes, I have. I was ashamed it got cancelled, but yeah, I have. I've watched Mike and Molly. I just love her. I think she doesn't take life seriously, and she just has a really good personality, I think, as well. Kevin James, I like as well. He did King of Queens, but then he kind of branched out into his own movies as well. I like Kevin James. John, I'm here. Okay, John. Um, so I'm just going to find that mirror, guys, because if you're a long time subscriber, yes, I found it. Um, yeah, Kevin James used to do King of Queens, but then he went out into his own movies with other popular actors and stuff. So he's quite funny, a comedian. I went to Edinburgh, guys, in Scotland a couple of years ago, only for a few days, but I didn't really, because I was visiting people, I didn't really get to kind of see all of Scotland, and I would have loved to kind of see a bit more of Scotland really properly. Yeah, that's definitely doing something more. Um, John, I'm here. Yes. Essie, he is super funny. I think so. I think he's got a really kind of he started off as a comedian and then I think he had a few guest appearances on different things, but I think he's quite funny. Um my mom is looking for a new highlighter. Do you have any recommendations? Revolution highlights do peach and vanilla, and they're really good depending on your skin tone. If your skin tone is medium, I'd go for pinch peach. If she's kind of a fairer, you go for the vanilla. But Revolution highlight is really good, so I definitely recommend that for your mom. Um, you're welcome. Yeah, it's kind of, I know it's not coming off super kind of strong on camera, but it's in the pictures I think it definitely will. It is coming off, but it's definitely doing a lot more than the collections one. Um but it's the world is kind of in a funny place right now, I think, you know. People are, you know, obviously there's a lot going on politically. My mom was Scottish with red hair and freckles, but she was born in America. Scotland and Ireland both look beautiful. Yeah, I mean, Ireland is really beautiful. Parts of Ireland, Galway is lovely. Scotland, I didn't really get to visit, but I'd love to see a bit more of Scotland. But yeah, America, I've been to San Francisco, Boston, and New York. Um, but I'd like to kind of see a bit more of it maybe someday, not anytime soon, but maybe someday. But that's amazing. So your mum, what part of Scotland is she from? The only place I went to was Edinburgh. I think that's like the capital. But I didn't get to see as much as I would like to see. Lofi edits, have you also watched Gilmore Girls? Can you ever forgive me? Gilmore Girls is what me and my mom used to watch when I was little. Yeah, Gilmore Girls definitely. I loved that show. Mum and me used to watch it all the time. Um, can you ever forgive me? What do you mean? Okay, I think it's definitely we're seeing it kind of lift now, and that's what I wanted. So we'll do the other eye. I'm gonna just take a drink of water because I've been talking for an hour and 23 minutes and I haven't touched my water. Um, okay, let me just. Oh gosh, there's something I didn't even touch that and it fell. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just gonna get some water. Edinburgh is beautiful, and did you notice that the air around Princess Street smells like steak all the time? I didn't really get to, because there was people moving. I was helping them move. We didn't really get to, and then we caught up in the evening with dinner, and then I had to go back kind of quite early the next day. I kind of walked around. I think I walked. I can't remember if it was Princess Street, So I didn't really get to notice that, but it just looks so beautiful, and I definitely want to go back. Um, Essie, I don't know, but I want to do one of those DNA tests you can do with the male ancestry. Yeah, that'll be amazing. Oh, sorry. There's a big Scottish population in West Virginia, Scottish people that fled Scotland by boats a long time ago. Hi, Jan. Yeah, Ireland actually fled their own country years ago to New York because England and Ireland, I mean, this is going back to the famine, had huge, there's a lot of war there. But wow, I didn't realize in Virginia. That's amazing. Hmm. I think I said before, I'd love to see at some point Canada as well. Um, okay, let's just do the other eye. Hi, Jan. But I hope you guys are having a good week and the weekend is coming up for everybody. What have I done? Okay. How have I lost the mascara? But I have the mascara wand. Honestly, guys, I don't know what's going on. I talk and then I just misplace things. I do this all the time outside of work. There, it's there. I found it. Jan, drunk? No, I'm not drunk, Jan. Look, everyone, it's a homosexual. Look at the gay lady. Well, I'm not gay, but if I was, what would be the issue with that? Absolutely nothing. I think you're just a child. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So to try and make somebody feel bad about that, I don't think is right. But I imagine you're just a child. So if I haven't said, this is, and I had to change it, guys, I am on a no buy. And if you don't know what a no buy means, it's you stop buying a product you kind of buy a lot. So in my case, makeup, and you kind of use what you have. Now, the other night, as I said before, okay, I'm just going to get rid of staying off the grid because they're so stupid. Hang on. Okay, yeah, beyond rude. Like, what is the, if I was gay, what's the big deal? I'm not, but if I was, I don't get it. I think they were children. You would hope. Okay. How are you not getting any mascara on your eyelids? I always get so much. What I do is, and I forgot to mention it, sorry. So if you're not a long-term subscriber, basically that used to happen to me all the time. And so what I do is I get a smaller mirror and I kind of look down, and that's how I can see really carefully what I'm doing, because I used to get it on me when I just looked straight ahead. So that's what I do. So all I do is look down, and that's how I don't get it on my lids, if that's what you're asking. So I just have this mirror here and I'm looking straight into that. Tassos, I guess you're a bit feverish, possibly. That's probably true. This is when you need like someone to just come in and look after you. It's funny because when you're in support work, you do look after them and then you need to be looked after when you get home. It's like, oh gosh. Hi, Amy. Hi, Amy. How are you? But guys, I do have like friends, very close friends that are gay. And there's I'm sorry, but they have fought enough to try to be equal, you know? Why try and make it, and it's probably is a, I won't say too much more about it because it did sound like a child. But there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Whoever you're attracted to, you're attracted to, you know? At the end of the day, you're still going to grow up and get into a relationship. You know, and there's it's not going to affect other people, you know. So, but definitely that sounded like a child. Okay, so that's kind of, it's coming off on camera a bit stronger here. I guess I just feel a bit strongly about it because some of my friends, I was there in the 90s when they had to come out to their parents, and believe me, 90s Ireland, telling your family you're gay, pretty much don't want to be there when that happens. And it's yeah. So when people say that, it kind of gets to me. I let it go because I do think it was a child, but certainly, yeah, it kind of, I do feel like sympathy. Essie the flag. Tassos, you're so sweet. Thank you, Tassos. Essie, absolutely. Lofi edits. The main actress from Manifest was Melissa Roxburghy, I think. Yeah, she was really, I thought she was really good. I haven't seen her in anything. I haven't seen her in anything since, so I got a message. I haven't seen her in anything um, since The Manifest, but she was a really good actress, I think. Um, Dexter, I don't support LGTBHD. I think you mean LGBT, but that's everyone's choice. Okay. Tassos, Ireland was conservative. It was, yeah, absolutely. Definitely not so much now, but it certainly was. Before Emily Pierce, hi, you're so pretty. Ireland flag. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not feeling it today, but now I can see that this eye isn't as light as the other one. So I'm just going to kind of, even though it's not ideal, the mascara's on already, I'm going to go back into the palette. Just a girl, you're so pretty. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think everyone is in their own way. And so I'm just going, this isn't ideal, guys, but I obviously didn't put enough. But definitely that mascara, as you can see, has definitely done a bit more than the other one did. He did, yeah. He said LGTVHD. So there you go, HD now. That's what's going on. Yeah, so there you go. Who knew? You know, so they probably go home and eat spaghetti from a tin. I don't know. And disapprove of that. I don't know. I don't even know why I said that, but I just feel like people that judge people like that or don't support something probably don't have enough culture in their life or, you know, enough experience to have understood anything really. And God forbid one day they get into some, they feel a certain way and they don't get understood, you know, then they start to. It's like, guys, if being straight was against the law, how do you think everybody would feel? The majority of people would, you know, so yeah. Okay. Um, okay. Emily Pierce, you're beautiful. Always remember that. Thank you. Dexter, that bubs are sweet. Blue Wakey, hot mummy. Okay, I'm not a mummy, but okay. Zion, do you like men? Yes, I'm talking about. Somebody came on and was kind of talking about gay people and not approving of them. For some reason, we weren't even talking about that. So we were just, you know, I was just saying that I'm not prejudiced in any way. And I am going to blend that because now it just looks very different to this one. So, okay, so I'm just. But like, whatever, you know, your orientation is your orientation, isn't it? I don't think it shouldn't affect the rest of your life, really. Dexter, can I eat them? Okay. Okay, let's just, right. Essie, we just had Pride. We just had Pride, and it's still the only day you see a lot of gay people hold hands. Yeah, I think it's probably the only day they feel safe, really. Yeah, I think it is sad that it's not safe for them, really. Dexter, okay, that's fine. I just didn't think it was a good idea that he stayed in too much longer. So I'm going to go in with a brush because I feel like we just haven't brought up that colour high enough. Okay. Okay, it just looks different on this side, guys. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'll probably fix it up off camera. This looks a bit, okay. I mean, London, they're very accepting. I think there's certain countries and certain areas in every country that are very much more accepting than others. I think that's kind of natural. So, for example, in Ireland, Dublin would be super welcoming and super open-minded. But then maybe kind of if you think of kind of the more counties in, I don't know, kind of as you get further out, they're not as kind of I guess not they're not as welcoming, but there wouldn't be as much socially to do or places to go for people um in that sense. So like in the UK, London would definitely be a place where you could go. Okay. Okay, someone just messaged me from the line. Sorry guys. Sorry guys. Okay. All right. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting messages. Okay. I think the light is also not particularly helping the situation. Okay. Okay. Well, guys, I'm just going to do some lip probably we did the lip oil and that's definitely sunk in now. So what I'm going to do is go in with brunch, and then we're going to go and then I'll pop up the pictures, but I will be back on Sunday, and then there'll be a live at half. I'm off on Sunday, so it should be absolutely fine. I think when it's like when I come home from work and things like that, that's when it starts to get a little bit of a struggle. But I'll be home on Sunday, so there'll be a live at 8:30 UK time, so that's absolutely fine. And I'll hopefully catch up with all of you there. This is from Revolution. It's called Queen. The lights are all starting to kind of come off their charge, so it's probably a good time to end the live. I think and we are finished. Okay, I would set it again if I was going out, guys, but because I'm not, I will leave it at that. Sigma Soccer, I subbed. Thank you. I'm just leaving now. Tassos, Kira, please make a linden or chamomile tea and go to bed. I'm just on my way now. I'm just finished. Lofi edits in some countries they are normal. That's very true. Yeah, they are in some countries. And it's not as prejudiced as it used to be. All the lights are starting to go off now, so I think even though it's only been an hour and 37, it must be a sign. And we have just finished. So I will take pictures and pop them on my post section and on my social media. And I'll see you guys. By the way, can I ask you, do you follow Roman Catholicism? I am Roman Catholic, but I'm not practicing, which means I don't kind of go to church or practice in any way, but I was brought up Catholic. Yeah. Love you. Bye. Thank you, Femilian. Refer. Getting messed. Okay, Essie. Bye, Essie. I'll be back, guys, on Sunday at 8:30 UK time. I'm hoping to be a lot better then. Thank you guys for kind of joining me tonight. I really appreciate you guys, subbing and things like that. I know I am not the biggest channel on YouTube. I'm very aware of that. But I do really appreciate you guys coming on and chatting to you guys. I will pop on some pictures in the post section and then on my Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you very soon.